Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for all news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Joseph Hennessy. Thanks for joining us. 10 overdose deaths have been reported in Montgomery County, the home of Dayton, Ohio, since the start of July. That's compared to 18 through the entire month of June. Franklin County is showing a rise as well, with 9 overdoses reported in Columbus between Saturday and Monday. Coroners from both counties say the increase is due to small amounts of fentanyl and drugs sold on the streets. And according to Earl Cecil, Executive Director of the Athens-Hocking-Vinton Drug Addiction and Mental Health Services Board, those most at risk are casual drug users who don't have an opioid tolerance.
Folks, they think they're doing something safe and have no clue that there's a deadly opioid in it. You know, if you have no tolerance to opioids, it takes just a very, very extremely small amount of fentanyl to cause an overdose.
Ohio saw a record 4,854 fatal overdoses in 2017, the most recent year which statewide data is available. As the controversy surrounding Labor Secretary Alex Acosta takes center stage, a local senator is taking a stand. West Virginia's Joe Manchin offered his opinion on Acosta and his confirmation.
Knowing what we know today, if it all proves to be accurate from OPR with the Justice Department, Office of Professionalism, then I would not have supported him, and I'm not even sure Alex would have gone through the vetting, made it through the vetting process. That didn't come out till after he had already been confirmed, and it's a shame of that, and this comes out, and now we have to deal with this. But if it proves accurate, I'd have made a mistake, and I would not have voted for Alex. Currently, Acosta still has the president's support. The Pike County Sheriff accepted a suspension in the aftermath of his indictment. Sheriff Charles Reeder was charged with theft in office and evidence tampering last month. A complaint alleges that he stole money seized in drug cases. He pleaded not guilty to the charges and is free on bond. A judge ruled he could not have contact with any witnesses in the case. Ohio Auditor Keith Faber is investigating the case. A Pomeroy woman accused of murder has been indicted by a Meigs County grand jury. On July 3rd, Tammy Neese allegedly shot and killed Kelly Markins during a child custody visitation. Neese is the maternal grandmother of the child. Markins is the paternal grandmother. Neese fled the scene after the incident. She still remains at large. Another Athens County man has been arrested on child pornography charges. Joshua Copeland of Guysville was charged with illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material, pandering sexually oriented material involving a minor, and possessing weapons under disability. As the investigation continues, more charges are expected.
Well, it definitely was a roller coaster of a day temperature-wise. It seemed to be up and down for most of the day. Right now we're set at 82 degrees. Humidity is right around 70%, and that is going to be rising as we go into the overnight hours tonight. And we do have storms possible throughout the evening, with west winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. So this area here in yellow, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the slight risk category for severe weather, meaning that they are expecting some isolated severe storms around most of the region today. So right now around the region, looking at the mid to lower 80s for most of the area, 84 in Ripley, 83 in Marietta, and 82 up in Cambridge. Right through right along Athens, around Athens, Meigs County, over to Washington County, we do have a line of thunderstorms moving through the area, causing some problems. So this is a precipcast for tonight, and it's doing a pretty good job picking up these storms. Right about now, we're looking at some severe weather moving just about to enter Athens County. So if you get a severe thunderstorm warning, make sure you take action, take shelter if you're outside. Anything to Joe, make sure you watch out for that severe weather out there.
Gotcha. Thanks, Blake. Revenue from Racino slot machines in Ohio topped $1 billion for the first time ever. Since the first Racino launched in 2012, revenue created has grown steadily. Last year, the revenue from video lottery terminals was more than $987 million. Ohio's casinos, unlike its racinos, are allowed to offer table games and skill-based slots. There is more pushback against West Virginia's education bill. The West Virginia Education Association announced today it intends to sue the state over the new bill. They claim the bill violates the state's constitution. The controversial measure establishes West Virginia's first charter schools. Democrats and educators claim the bill will take funds away from public schools. The only grocery store in a West Virginia county that temporarily closed may never reopen. The IGA in Clay County had a temporarily closed sign on its door since June 24th, according to the Charleston Gazette-Mail. A former employee tells the paper he believes it will be closed permanently. The store's owner, Pamela Widener-Stott, declined to comment on the closure. She filed for bankruptcy protection June 21st under the name Clay Foods. Reuse on Union Street is the newest store partnered with Reuse Industries. Kaylin Martin is live in the newsroom. Kaylin, I hear Reuse is celebrating their one-year anniversary tonight, and the theme is Ohio Brew Week.
Yes, they celebrated their one-year anniversary today on Union Street with food and interesting artists. But Reuse on Union's main focus is to teach residents about reducing waste. During the open house today, people from the community got the chance to see artist Dan Lawrence create earrings and other upscale designs out of Jackie O cans. Aaron Hogan, manager of Reuse Makerspace, gives the overall mission.
Our purpose is to divert materials from the waste stream and create economic development at the same time. So we've always been focused on how we can raise up all those around us that are in poverty through keeping things out of the landfill.
Coming in October, they will have their own competition where residents can come and show their own artwork with the recycled materials that they used. Back to you, Joe.
Thanks, Kaylin. Sticking with the theme of Brew Week, Athens Makerspace is also run by Reuse Industries and hosted a BYOB Vintage Video Game Night yesterday to kick off Brew Week in their own way. The night showcased a number of old school video games for those interested to play either solo or compete with others. Adam Brown is an Athens resident who donated a number of video games from his collection to the Reuse store and says he's happy to share the experience with others.
I've always enjoyed them and wasn't always able to play them, so I really wanted to see if I could help other people who maybe had the same thing or maybe were too young to play it the first time around.
Last night's event was an unofficial kickoff of Brew Week. It officially starts tomorrow. Betsy DeVos is facing a lawsuit, and President Trump's July 4th parade had an unforeseen impact on Washington, D.C. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at woub.org. And thank you.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
President Trump's July 4th parade drained the city's security budget. That is according to the Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. According to Bowser, the event and protests surrounding it cost the D.C. government roughly $1.7 million. Bowser stated in a letter to the president that the Emergency Planning and Security Fund will be depleted before the end of the 2019 fiscal year. She added the fund will be more than $6 million over budget. Bowser wants the Trump administration to fully reimburse the fund. A teachers union is suing Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. The American Federation of Teachers Union says the Department of Education mismanaged a public service loan forgiveness program. The program grants loan forgiveness to teachers and other public workers after 10 years of payments. The union says the Education Department has improperly rejected applications and has violated their constitutional right to due process. In recent years, 99% of applications have been rejected, according to Politico. The rift between minority progressives and Democratic moderates in Congress appears to be widening. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is singling her out, along with 3 other newly elected women of color.
It's singling out 4 individuals. And knowing the media environment that we're operating in, knowing the amount of death threats that we get, knowing the amount of concentration of attention, I think it's just worth asking why.
According to Pelosi, the 4 are upset with her because she responded to a tweet from Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff comparing moderates to segregationists. She insisted she respects the value of every member of the Democratic caucus and called its diversity a wonderful thing. Pelosi is calling for unity in her party. The search continues at the Vatican in search for a teenager who went missing 36 years ago. The Vatican exhumed 2 graves in hopes of finding the remains, but no remains have been found. Emanuela Orlandi, the daughter of a prominent employee of the Vatican Bank, vanished without a trace when she was just 15 in the summer of 1983. The family's lawyer received an anonymous tip, which led the family to believe the teen's body was buried at the Teutonic Cemetery in Vatican City. The southeastern United States braces for Hurricane Barry. That story is still ahead.
And we have severe weather of our own here in the Athens area, and we might have a slight relief from the heat. I'll have details about that in your weekend forecast when Newswatch returns. But first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Blake Hardesty. We had a couple of rain showers out there today, and that really helped keep the temperature down. We were forecasted to be in the upper 80s, but we only reached about 83 today. Right now at 82 degrees, the humidity is about 70%, and that is going to be increasing as we go into the overnight hours tonight. We do have some storms in the vicinity, so if you're in the Athens, Meigs County area, Washington County, you might be seeing some storms here in a little bit. West winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Taking a look at around the region right now, looking at 84 in Ripley, 84 in Ironton as well, and 83 in Marietta. All of us do have a chance of seeing some scattered thunderstorms out there tonight. Once this line of thunderstorms move through, we might have a few pop-up showers out behind that as well. So let's take a look at precipcast tonight. The model is doing a pretty good job about picking up this line of storms moving through. This, like I said, these moving through the Athens, Washington County areas at this moment. We might see a few pop-up storms right behind it, but for the most part, after this line of storm moves through, we should be fairly in the clear. So make sure if you're out driving tonight, might have a few downpours at times, so make sure you be careful out there on the roadways. Tonight in Athens, 67 degrees. Those storms do begin moving out. Those pop-up storms are moving out here by midnight tonight. Skies are going to start clearing up overnight tonight, and we'll have west winds of 0 to 5 miles per hour. Tonight around the region, 69 in Ripley, 70 degrees down there in 910, 65 up in Cambridge. All of a sudden to get those clear skies overnight tonight. I would take a look hour by hour tomorrow. 8 a.m. waking up tomorrow, 69 degrees. It's going to be a humid morning though, cool but humid. 90% humidity tomorrow morning. 77 degrees by lunch hour. Very pleasant day out there. Not going to be very hot like we have been the last couple of days. And by 4 p.m., 81 degrees. It's going to be a great start to your weekend. Lots of sunshine. Great weather out there. It's going to be really nice. Tomorrow tomorrow on precipcast, there is no rain in the forecast. We have a little blip of rain down here from the models, but I don't think that's going to be much of anything. So overall, pretty dry conditions tomorrow. We take a look tomorrow in Athens, 82 degrees. The humidity is going to be ranging from 50 to 80%, so it could be a little muggy at times. Mainly in the afternoon time is going to be when that humidity is going to be the lowest. It's going to start varying into the overnight hours as well. So we'll have a mix of a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Fairly nice day. North winds 0 to 5 miles per hour, giving us those cooler temperatures. Take a look at the national precipcast. This is the tropical storm Barry you might have been hearing about on the news. That in the next couple of days, that's going to be making its way up the United States, and for the beginning of next week, might see some rain showers from that. But overall, the big picture, not tracking any type of widespread rain showers. We take a look. Weekend forecast: Saturday, 87 degrees. We have a 40% chance of some scattered rain. And Sunday, 86 degrees. It's going to be 40% chances of rain showers on Sunday. Those are going to be mainly in the afternoon. So morning time, if you have any type of weekend barbecues might be going to, you should be good. But in the late afternoon, evening time, kind of like we've been having the last couple of days, pop-up storms are possible just because of the heat of the environment out there. And Monday, 87 degrees, 30% chance of some scattered evening storms. Again, just all that heat out there, just giving more fuel to the atmosphere and causing us to have those storms in the evening time. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, Saturday, those sunshine returns, and Monday for the start of your work week, those changes to thunderstorms remain 87 degrees, and Tuesday, 88 degrees, very high temperature. Those thunderstorms are going to persist into the evening and afternoon times. Wednesday, 87 degrees, and Thursday, sunshine does finally return, 88 degrees, 69 for the low. Joe, it's going to be pretty sunny out there.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. And in national weather news, parts of the South are starting to feel the effects of a tropical storm approaching the region, and residents are preparing for the worst. Kristen Holmes has the latest.
Flash flooding and mandatory evacuations as Gulf Coast residents brace for a strong, slow-moving storm. Tropical Storm Barry forming in the Gulf of Mexico Thursday morning and expected to intensify to a hurricane before it makes landfall Saturday. More than 4 million people are already under flood watches from Louisiana into the Florida Panhandle. And those in the danger zone are not taking warnings lightly.
We still have 100 sandbags on the back of our house from 2016. So this is us gearing up again.
That's what officials are hoping for as they make pleas for people to start preparing.
If the worst case scenario does happen, we'll never have enough assets. We need people to be aware of their own surroundings, be able to take care of themselves.
The longer the storm system lingers over the Gulf, the more organized and the stronger it is likely to become before it makes landfall.
If the system continues at its current trajectory, it could echo Hurricane Harvey in 2017, hovering over one place and relentlessly dumping rain. In advance of that, Louisiana officials have begun closing floodgates and pumping out water, hoping to counteract the effects of possible storm surge. In New Orleans, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Officials at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are renewing their warning of a dangerous parasite found lurking in pools. Meredith Wood has more in today's Health Minute.
A quick dip in the pool could ruin your summer fun. The CDC is warning about a growing number of cases involving a dangerous parasite found in pools.
We want to urge the public to be aware and to take measures to prevent themselves from getting sick.
CDC officials say illnesses linked to the so-called cryptoparasites rose an average of 13% annually between 2009 and 2017. The lead author in the CDC report says cases heat up during the summer because the parasite has one alarming quality.
Even in a pool that's properly chlorinated, crypto can survive at those chlorine levels. And that's why it's so important to keep it out of the pool rather than trying to get it out once it's already contaminated.
The parasites cause severe stomach issues that can last as long as 3 weeks. Most people are infected at places like neighborhood pools when they accidentally swallow water containing human waste. Health officials say there are key precautions you can take to avoid getting sick. The first is to rinse off before you jump in the water and keep pool time safe and clean.
When you are swimming, don't swallow the water that you're swimming with. And if you have contact with animals or you're in a child care setting, make sure you wash your hands with soap and water.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Guacamole prices may be rising. That story still to come. And the site of one of the worst nuclear disasters may now be a tourist destination. Next on Newswatch. Let's stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station.
Is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TVs play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Chernobyl, the site of the world's worst nuclear disaster, is set to become an official tourist attraction. Ukraine's president signed a decree on Wednesday that set out plans for new walking trails and enhanced mobile phone reception. Much of the area has been open to tourists since 2011. There has been a sharp rise in visitors since an HBO miniseries about the tragedy aired earlier this year. While the explosion itself caused around 30 deaths, the final death toll as a result of long-term radiation exposure is much disputed. Amazon workers are planning a labor strike on Prime Day, according to Bloomberg. The 6-hour work stoppage will happen on July 15th at Shakopee, Minnesota. The workers want better pay and working conditions. The Shakopee warehouse has about 1,500 full-time employees. Amazon Prime Day is the annual shopping event exclusive to Amazon Prime members. The company does not expect any distributions or shipments to customers during the strike and rally. If you want to invest in something that is exploding in value, forget Wall Street. Look at avocado futures. Wholesale prices on the pitted fruit are more than double what they were just a year ago. Avocados from Mexico cost a whopping 129% more. Most of that is being passed on to consumers, with retail prices almost doubling. Analysts attribute the spike to growing global demand and a natural seasonal dip in production both in Mexico and California. Almost 90% of the avocados you buy comes from our neighbors to the south. As wedding season starts, many of you may be getting a wedding invitation. With the rising cost of weddings, you may be staying home more. A new study reveals declining invitations may impact more than your finances. In today's Consumer Watch, Mary Maloney has a look at how it may impact your relationship to the couple.
Saying I do is a huge drain on everyone's wallets, even if you're just a guest. If you're saying no to wedding invites this year due to your budget, you're not alone. According to a new study from Bankrate, 1 in 5 respondents said they declined a wedding invitation because they couldn't afford it. The study also found the high costs of weddings is putting a strain on more than just finances. 30% of those who declined the RSVP due to financial stress say it damaged their friendship with the couple. Meanwhile, 25% of those who chose not to attend didn't send a wedding gift either. And out of those who still sent gifts, the survey found 57% of people said they would give the same gift if they attended the event, while 17% say they would give less of a gift. According to a separate Bankrate study from 2018, guests spent an average of $628 on the wedding and pre-parties. For some people, that could be a huge chunk of money to spend to see a friend tie the knot, a tricky decision that could cost you in more ways than one. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Some Speedy Dashins in Southern California spent time practicing for a big event this weekend. The 24th running of the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener Nationals will be held Saturday, July 20th at the Los Alamitos Race Course. Up to 100 dogs were chosen based on the creativity of their entry applications. Today was practice, but next on race day, they'll compete in 10 50-yard trial heats. Those winners will face off in the championship run. Now back over to you, Blake.
Well, we're going to have some storms in the vicinity tonight, and those are going to be moving out as we go into overnight hours. 67 degrees for the low temperatures tonight. Those storms are going to be moving out here by midnight, and those guys are going to be clearing up for us. We'll have west winds 0 to 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow in Athens, 82 degrees. The humidity is going to be ranging from 50 to 80%, and we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow with winds out of the north of 0 to 5 miles per hour. We take a look next several days. Saturday, we do have some sunshine with high of 87 degrees, so nice start to your weekend. Sunday, we do have some afternoon showers and thunderstorms possible with 86 degrees. And Monday, start of your work week, those showers and thunderstorms are going to continue, 87 degrees, 88 degrees on your Tuesday, and those we're going to be staying in the mid to upper 80s for the most of the rest of the week. Possible thunderstorms just about every day in the evening time because of all that heat, Joe. It's going to be pretty stormy.
Gotcha. Thank you, Blake. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. For Blake Hardesty, I'm Joseph Hennessy. Have a great night, and we are going to leave you with a look at Stroud's Run State Park. Have a good one.